Did Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he killed his two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, I did that, and placed a smiley face emoji.
Like, they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
A source close to YNW Melly just leaked that he's guilty, as in today's court hearing, the judge began it by announcing YNW Melly will be tried with YNW Bortlen on September 10th.
Mr. Henry is going to remain set for trial September the 10th at 9 o'clock with Mr. Demmons, pending whatever future motion that I may hear. I'm in another capital case right now. I have 4 hearing dates left available between now and September the 10th. I gave the parties those 4 dates, and I'm holding all of those dates and times open only for these 2 defendants. So anything that you need me for, okay? Yes, sir.
As YNW Melly was not impressed by this at all, as the news wrote, at the beginning of Wednesday's hearing, Judge Martin said to Bortlen's attorney, so Mr. Haddad, for the time being, Mr. Henry is going to remain set for trial on September 10th with YNW Melly, which is the worst thing imaginable for YNW Melly, and allow me to explain. The prosecutors are going to force Bortlen to snitch. The news wrote, a no communication order has been filed in the YNW Melly trial. The order makes Melly and Bortlen completely separate. No talking, no lawyer talk, just silence. They're doing this for one specific reason.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It's just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking the penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
If Bortlen knows that he didn't commit this very serious crime, he won't physically be able to just sit there and take life in prison to the chin, making it very likely he'll then just point the finger at Melly, as the prosecutors can force Bortlen to do so because they have leverage on him.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortlen was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortlen, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Demmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortlen allegedly tampered with the witness.
It was then announced, here are the images of alleged notes discovered during the home raid of YNW Bortlen's home last week, as filed into the Broward clerks by the state, where Bortlen was drawing out on a piece of paper where certain jurors were sitting during the original Melly trial, even a description of what they looked like. As the feds can just claim that YNW Bortlen had intent to go commit other M's that would have sentenced his best friend to life inside a prison, as all the paperwork found within his home really made it look like he was about to go slide for YNW Melly.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortlen, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
However, it's very important to know that all of this occurred before YNW Melly's lawyers did what they did in that trial. Because when the prosecutors were sharing very incriminating evidence against Melly, making him look guilty, Melly's lawyer stood up and basically snitched on Bortlen.
Those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he has discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
This right here was the end of friendship between Melly and YNW Bortlen, where Melly's lawyer revealed it was Bortlen that was lying to the feds, it was Bortlen with powder residue on his hands, and that he was the last one with Juvie and Sack Chaser when they passed away. They even went as far as to bringing a forensic scientist to go into further detail about Bortlen having the powder residue.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of heart residue and two component particles, and the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of heart residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was heart residue present on the hands.
YNW Bortlen did not like this at all, which is why when Melly's mistrial was granted, the news wrote, YNW Bortlen tweets a mysterious message on the same day Melly's mistrial was declared. The tweet reads, "Mind games don't work on people like me," alongside a handshake emoji as if he's accepting some sort of deal. But what you didn't know is that YNW Melly and Bortlen have cut ties since this happened, which is why when it was told in court Melly would be tried with YNW Bortlen, Melly was visibly angry, yelling at his lawyers. The news wrote, today's hearing marks the first time YNW Melly publicly went against his legal team's advisement in open court, where he was seen yelling at his lawyers.
Yes, sir.
Against our advice, our client wants to proceed.
You object to their request for me to determine this automatic stay.
Based upon what our client has instructed us, yes, sir.
As the evidence they are arguing about is about YNW Melly's street team association. They want to use a piece of evidence against Melly that came from Facebook, where it's a photo of YNW Melly with Young Thug, where the prosecutors are trying to claim Melly is a part of the Red Street team, just like Young Thug is.
Same thing, the use of the slap term, 5-point star, the snake. He's saying he's YSL, he's hanging with him, and he puts up his YNW for life hashtag on it with Mr. Devins has big B hand signs displayed.
Right, and see with individuals again, assuming that's also Young Thug. That's also unknown.
Yes.
Also important to your investigation, correct?
Yes.
Also publicly available for anyone to see and capture.
Somebody sitting inside of the courtroom overheard what Melly yelled at his lawyers, and he said in quote, "I don't care, I'm not in no gang, they can't prove that."
I'm aware that 924-071 call for an automatic stay while
they were aggravators. They go to membership in a gang. There are things that the jury would have to find before going into penalty.
Not aggravators, that's the death penalty. Aggravators, that's the gang enhancement itself, Your Honor. That was charged. He was charged in committing the murder for the gang, which is an aggravator in terms of the guilt.
Something that they would have to find by way of an interrogatory.
Yes.
There's one real reason why YNW Melly does not care if the evidence is included. If Melly's lawyers are able to get that evidence thrown out, the paperwork that comes alongside it will make the trial then start in 2027. This would mean Melly would have been sitting in jail for 9 years before ever being convicted.
I do find this case to be under the most compelling circumstances. Mr. Devins, as I sit here today, has been in custody for 2,339 days. Besides Mr. Devins' cases, which I've removed, this division currently has 38 other cases, special set for trial. 22 of those are murder cases. Numerous of those are death cases. And right now, this division has trial special set in December of 2026.
However, the state, they want a lot of new evidence to use against YNW Melly. This is why they're trying to get the delay once again, as they want to ensure YNW Melly gets sentenced to life inside a prison for good.
And finally, Judge, just so, again, the record's clear, what this, given Judge Murphy's order, and there would be an intent to comply with it, what the court is compelling the state to do is to go forward with evidence that has been suppressed. In other words, we would not be able to use that evidence.
You can't.
Right.
It's suppressed. That's exactly correct.
As of now, the attorneys could go to the appellant court and request that they issue a stay or place a hold on the trial, and that seems to be the only way that this trial does not move forward on the scheduled date. So if that doesn't happen, Melly trial number 2 will begin in about 2 months.
As with the prosecutors being able to have YNW Bortlen sitting beside YNW Melly in the trial, it will end up answering one very important question, and let me explain. The police want context of what happened 5 hours after the crime occurred. Where it was announced, the prosecutors updated the evidence against YNW Melly. He didn't know he was filmed, admitting to the passing of Juvie and Sack Chaser, where only 5 hours after the crime, Melly was filmed dancing in a parking lot with YNW Bortlen.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Where the two are not showing an ounce of sadness for the passing of their two best friends. But without his acknowledgement once again, he was filmed 30 minutes before the crime, where Melly was seen exiting the studio, sitting directly in the back left seat of the Jeep, waiting for everyone to get in.
Excuse me, you're able to see? Yes? All right.
As the official court document read, the direction of bullets traveling from left to right in the car supports the claim that they originated from the back left seat where YNW Melly was positioned, as even YNW Juvie's mother went to the stand confirming that Melly was sitting there. However, if they can have YNW Bortlen confirm it, this will be the end of YNW Melly.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the kids in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
With the prosecutors wanting to use all that evidence against Melly in the upcoming trial, the judge didn't want it to be delayed once again. He would forcefully push the trial to start in September, which is when YNW Melly's mother would react on IG Live.
Basically what happened today is the judge has said we are not delaying trial. We will be going to trial September 10th, even though there's things that's up with the 4th DCA that has been ruled to be suppressed and not able to be used in the upcoming trial. The judge is just upholding those orders. So therefore, all of the, basically what was up on appeal was all of that stuff, what they were using as an enhancer in order to get the death penalty qualified. The judge ordered all of that to be suppressed. So moving forward onto the new trial, the state will not be able to bring in that evidence.
As at the end of the court hearing on that day, Melly's mother would explain that his lawyers asked the judge for a bond release until trial in September. But sadly, the news wrote, YNW Melly's reaction after not receiving a bond in his double M case, he's been in jail for 2,320 days without a guilty verdict. As sadly, he was denied his bond, but he left the court hearing with a massive win, which could result in him being released in the coming weeks. To understand when he could be released, it's important warrant to know what happened. An FBI agent took the stand. This FBI agent specializes in cell phone data research, where it was shared YNW Melly's lawyers questioned FBI agent that did an analysis on Melly's phone at the time of the crime.
Based on the information, you can't really tell the court precisely which locations these phones are following in, can you?
One of the limitations of cellular analysis is that you can only say a general area where the device would be at a given time.
All right. So even with the general analysis, all of the steps that we've gone through for about 4 or 5 hours, at the end of the day, you can never give an exact location.
True.
And could you tell if somebody was walking around a car with the phone? Would you be able to tell that?
No.
So it'd be your testimony that this phone, 9807, could be from here to here, correct?
Yes.
While he did share important information about Melly's phone, it wasn't until the next topic of conversation where things got interesting. A DNA specialist took the stand. His job is to go over DNA research on items that were found at the crime scene, including the items that were found inside of the Jeep. This may have been Melly's biggest win so far. A report read, DNA analyst confirms YNW Melly's DNA was not found on multiple items that were recovered at the crime scene.
So going to item number 22, the swab from the Gucci sandals. We're able to compare the profile from Mr. Demons as opposed to the profile developed from those sandals.
I did, and he was excluded.
The stain on the front of the t-shirt, item number 23. We're able to compare Mr. Demons' profile to them.
I did a comparison, and he was again excluded.
What about item number 24, the cutting of the stain of the rear of the t-shirt?
After comparisons were done, he was excluded.
Okay, then on item number 25, the swab of stain from the Air Jordans.
Again, an exclusion.
Going on to item number 26, the swab from the yellow jacket.
An exclusion as well.
And in terms of the item number 27 and 28, the swabs at the Gatorade bottles. What were the results on that?
Those were both exclusions.
As with Melly securing such a massive win, the judge would end up giving Melly one last chance of receiving a bond, but the prosecutors were able to have a defense to it. What they did was so disturbing, many believe the Florida court system is corrupt. They made a deal with Melly's ex-girlfriend named Mariah Hamilton, and let me explain. Mariah has been hiding out of the United States since before Melly's original trial. She was supposed to testify against him in it, but she never showed up. This made her wanted by police, which resulted in her getting arrested.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demons' first trial in 2023.
Mariah was having a terrible time inside a jail, wanting to return to the United States just to see her family members who she hasn't seen in multiple years. She was arrested instantly. So when she arrived to jail, she was having a terrible time, saying the food was not even edible. She just wanted out, which is why when she had her first court hearing, the judge gave her a deal, saying if you agree to testify against Melly and tell the truth, you're free to go. She accepted it instantly, and she was released from jail within 20 minutes. She would then write on Facebook on her way home, and to my village, thank you to my village, I love you all so much, God's plan, not mine. Why this is so bad for YNW Melly is because the feds found disturbing evidence in Mariah's iCloud account relating to Melly forcing her to not testify. This is known as witness tampering. This carries a life sentence in prison, regardless if Melly actually took out Sack Chaser and Juvie.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
So this means there's an actual chance YNW Melly gets found not guilty of Juvie and Sack Chaser's passing, but then gets found guilty of witness tampering and still goes to prison for life. And the feds, they have the evidence against him. It was so bad, they've stopped him from using the jail phone, which really upset YNW Melly's mother.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and
even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
Now, if the evidence is true that Melly hasn't been able to use jail phones because he was witness tampering with them, they would have the evidence to support it. They wouldn't just keep him off of the jail phone if it was a hunch, as that would result in a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. But it gets even worse, as the prosecutors also submitted paperwork to use Bortlen's interrogation from the night of the crime, where he was caught lying to police trying to cover up for Melly.
Okay, tell me what happened.
Man, I was playing music, getting off the exit. I was already getting sleepy, almost home, you know what I'm saying? And like, just out of nowhere, like, I just heard, you know what I'm saying? So, and I ducked down, you know what I'm saying, in the car, and I almost crashed the car.
Let me back you up a few minutes. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from the studio, from Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale studio. Which way did you take?
I took I-75, 595 to
75.
Expressway. Yeah.
Then you took 75 south?
As it was very obvious to officers that YNW Bortlen's story just wasn't adding up. Bortlen, however, was trying to stay confident, but he wasn't seeming realistic at all, and he would be caught in his lie.
Here's the hard part, where we're having a hard time to understand, is that we shut down that entire area, and we had the officers shoulder to shoulder walk it out. They didn't find as much as one shell casing. They didn't find one piece of glass. Nothing. Nothing to what you said adds up. And it's hard.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that's the glass.
I mean, for whatever reason, your two friends, are these your good friends?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These my
these your two, I'm assuming, close friends.
Yeah, we got.
And you're doing them an inservice by not telling us the truth.
I'm telling you the truth, sir. I don't like. How? What do you want?
How do you make shell casings disappear?
I don't know. How can I tell you about a shell case?
A police officer would then begin getting pretty frustrated at YNW Bortlen. He would flat out ask, "If you know who did this, would you tell me?"
By just telling me the truth, even if it's something that I don't want to hear. But I respect the truth rather than BS, okay? And a simple question. If you knew who did this, okay? You may or may not know. If you knew who did this, would you tell me? It's either a yes or no question. Answer.
Honestly?
Yeah, honestly. The truth. You wouldn't?
Because I wouldn't want to be a part of that. I wouldn't want to be.
As YNW Bortlen does not give a firm yes or no answer using his voice. Instead, he shakes his head no. This is because if it was Melly who did the crime, he would obviously know that. So saying no to the officer would have caused his voice to crack or come out at a different pitch than what he's been using throughout the entire interview, which is due to him lying. So then the officers would just ask for the story about the crime.
And I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me, you telling me about some shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna be worried about? You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there's gotta be some evidence there. There's gonna be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here when you guys open the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's gonna be broken glass over there when the windows got out. There's gonna be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's gonna be evidence over there. Okay, right now, there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information